If you're interested in getting ready with me today, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. I just need a get ready with me video. That's what I'm going to do today. I asked if there was interest in Get Ready With Me and if I was doing one, which palette to use, and I listed 5 which I would call kind of luxury palettes to choose from, and there was a clear winner. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to get my face ready for the eyeshadow palette, and we will bring the belle of the ball out when it's time. As I readjust myself here, I don't have any agenda for this Get Ready With Me, apart from just getting a face done. I've had a little cloud following me for a few days, and I thought I would just enjoy hanging out. That's really where I'm at. I'm just wanting to hang out, and hopefully you will enjoy doing that with me today, because I don't usually do Get Ready With Me. It's been a really long time since I've done one, but I really do think it's time. And just for fun, for those of you watching, I thought I would just let you know that I have a new brand of nail polish that I have brought out. I have not purchased it this year. My no-buy is still going on. It is e.l.f. nail polishes, which I purchased last year and wanted to try out as a brand over a period of time. Well, I've just started that. So I have this really neat set of colors, and looking forward to showing you all the looks with e.l.f. nail polishes when I get to the next nail polish looks and reviews video. So that's what's on my nails. Apart from that, on my face, I have very, very little, and I actually have, over the last 2 days, there's something, because I'm using a lot of sample skincare items right now, and there's something that's irritating my skin, and I have no idea what it is. No idea. So I really cleaned my skin this morning. I did use an e.l.f. toner. Hopefully it's helping. It's not something that I use very often. I've been using the e.l.f. cleanser as well, because if you haven't heard it yet, I'll put the video here. I am doing a focus on e.l.f. as one of the companies I'm interested in these days, because I have quite a bit of e.l.f. products, but they were just sitting there, and I thought, okay, well, let me commit to e.l.f. for whatever it is, a couple months, and really get a feel for what it is I think of the brand. I'm going to start with a couple of products that are not e.l.f. products specifically, but products that I have open that I just want to use. I have a couple that are from my Advent Calendar project, and so if you're curious about that one, I'll put that video up there as well. Just there are some video types on this channel that you haven't checked out. The Advent Calendar is intended, this is a brightening, what do they call it? Brightening essence concentrate. And sorry, lost track. So yeah, the Advent Calendar project is me taking out some sample products, 24 of them total, because my Advent Calendar is 24 boxes, and getting myself to use some of these sample products. This is another Caudalie product. This is the Vino Perfect Radiance Serum. So I'm using a couple of Radiance products today, even though I'm going to be covering it up with foundation. All right, so a little bit of that Vino Perfect as well. On my face. Just trying to be good with skincare. And I think I finished up the eye cream that I was using, the sample I was using. Let me just check that. Okay, I still have some. It is the Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment that I'm using today. This is going to be a long video. Hope you grab a snack or something. I never say that during my videos, but in this case I think it's going to be a long one. Can offer some updates too, personally. Okay, I put way too much. Usually I just put the eye cream right underneath the eye. But it's never quite the same when you're doing a get ready with me on camera. The products aren't where they would normally be for me just putting makeup on my own. And eye cream I always put on between my eyebrows just because I have some pretty significant frown lines there, and around my mouth. Around the mouth, the skin is very similar to around the eyes, so I do also put eye cream around my lips. I have a lot of redness today. Around here, I very rarely have reddish cheeks and some red down here, but that's whatever cream is aggravating me, is giving me red spots. So it is what it is. And I'm going to go and use whatever's left of this Perricone MD Rejuvenating Moisturizer. Don't know if I need everything that's in here still, but we'll use some of it. Oh yeah, I have too much. I'll have another use for sure of this product. This is how much I'm taking, and there's still another, for sure, another use in there. And let's do the moisturizer, and hopefully that's not what's making my skin unhappy. Okay. Go under the necklace a little bit. Okay, so the general maintenance has been done, and I think that we can start playing with the pretty colored stuff now. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do to start off is with the makeup is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which I want to compare to the Tatcha Poreless Primer. And obviously I'm not going to use Tatcha today, but I'm going to use these kind of as an alternating primer just to see if I can tell the difference between one and the other. So I'm going all over my face. Never used this before. As I said, you saw it was a new container. So that's that. It doesn't take very much. It feels pretty good. Although I have some around my nostrils now. Okay, and that's the trouble when I have a ring light on, for any YouTuber who uses a ring light. The ring light affects the way I see my face, and very often only in editing I'll see, oh, you know, you had this eyelash on your cheek the whole time, or you had some of your hair falling onto your forehead and you couldn't see it. That's the reality of YouTube, I guess. The joys of filming and editing. Okay, so I have this primer, and I did have another option, but since I did my creams on camera, I didn't go with this one. I do also have the hydrating primer, which I guess I'll use next time I'm doing e.l.f. products, or applying e.l.f. products. I would say we are ready for foundation since I have the primer on, and I'm going to try this. I hope I have the right color. I went with Fair Light, and it is a foundation serum with goji berry, and it has an SPF in it, which I'm kind of interested in. So we are going to use that. So I'm going to pump, see how it goes. Oh, I need to shake it. There's water is pretty much all that came out. Had to fix up my mess, and I don't know if you can see, it left a mess on the container. Obviously it had separated, and I'm guessing that what I can see here in the package, it may be coloring that doesn't show the total product, because to me it looked like it was a pretty, what's it called? Like a well-mixed product, but apparently not. Okay, so now I do have some foundation. I'm gonna give myself a couple of pumps and use the mirror right under the camera and see if this does a decent job. And it looks like it's doing virtually nothing for coverage. Okay, try it again. Okay, seems like I'm getting more serum, more of the color. And it looks like it's a relatively, at least what's coming out of the container, a pretty light style of foundation. Yeah, it's light. I'm hoping it's going to cover my skin properly. Right now it doesn't seem to be sitting nicely. Should have had a headband. It's definitely too light for me. I'll use the bronzer trick to even things out. So a lot of, I guess, moisturizing agents were coming out first. And so it's going to be a little streaky, I think. But the first application, I could see how it doesn't come out quite the same as a product I've been using for a while. So that's all right. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's looking funny around my nose. And there's kind of too much on my forehead. Okay, we're going to call that enough. I'm going to just wipe my hands of all this foundation. And what am I going to go after next? I think it's looking okay now. I'll have powder going on as well. Okay, and it is a little bit dry on my forehead, but I also have some dry skin issues right now, which is why I was doing moisturizer right before the foundation. I think I'm going to try using this product from e.l.f., which is, they don't have the name on it. It's that 4-color powder that is supposed to be like the Guerlain Météorite, and I have the spheres as well from e.l.f. that offer these 4 colors. But I don't want to use the spheres today. I'm more familiar with the spheres. I've just never tried this specific type of compact. So let me grab a brush and we'll set the foundation with this powder. All right, I took out my big powder brush and I'm going to go right into this compact and just try to set this very light this very light foundation with this multicolor powder. It's accentuating how lousy the foundation is on my forehead. That's okay. I'm not going anywhere today. I don't have any clients. If it turns out to be a disaster, that's fine. Yeah, the foundation is not sitting pretty at all. I'll have to try it a few more times, but it's not looking good. Okay. I don't mind this powder. It feels good. It feels very soft. I think I need a little bit more based on what my skin feels like. Right here and probably on the other side. Okay. Now, I don't have an e.l.f. Lipstick. I wouldn't mind having a little bit more color right now. So I'm going to try this Becca Orchid lipstick for the first official time. The lines on the lipstick tell me I've swatched it but not actually applied it, so let's just do that to give myself a little bit of color. That's a rough job, but we're gonna go with it. It's really creamy, really comfortable, which I appreciate. And I'm not gonna fix it right now. We're just going to go with it. If it's driving you crazy, I apologize. I'm just messing around with makeup today. This feels good. Let's go with it. My lack of color is really bothering me, so I think I'm ready to play with the bronzing pearls from e.l.f. And they're just, this is actually two packages of these that I just combined into one. And I'm going to take my bronzing brush and see if we can just kind of give myself a little bit, give me a little bit of color. And I'm going to take my bronzing brush to do that. I'm repeating myself, but it is an e.l.f. Brush because I want to try to use as many e.l.f. products as possible today. So I'm just dipping into the beads, and I just lost one. Just see if I can get a little bit of color. I'm going to go on my forehead as well. It's showing a bit more on the forehead than it is on the cheeks for now. My cheeks are quite flushed today. I'm not sure why. Well, I do have some skin irritation, as I mentioned earlier. There's some skincare that I'm using that my skin is really not liking, and I can't figure out which one it is because I'm, as I said, using a bunch of little samples here and there. And sometimes the skin has a reaction right away, and sometimes it takes a day or two for it to be angry, so it's hard to tell. Okay, that lipstick is really looking bad. But yeah, I think my skin is just dry. It's just feeling really weird. Okay, I think I want to add a little bit more. Having some residue from that foundation. I'm going to add a little bit more around the periphery of my hairline. Gosh, just doing this base is taking me so long. I'm so sorry. This is going to be a long video. I can just talk a little bit about my no-buy recently. I'm noticing that I'm hunting more into my makeup stash for different experiences, different products, and so I really feel like this year of no-buy is going to be really good for me to really appreciate everything that I have in my collection, which is substantial, and to play with things more than I have been, pretty much. So these are fine. They seem to have given me the color I was looking for, so that works perfectly fine, as I say fine twice. And I'm going to go into this duo that I have from e.l.f. that is a bronzer and a blush, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of that blush to give me, again, a little bit more color. And I'm going to use a different e.l.f. brush. I'm going to use this brush that I have not used yet for the blush. That kind of a shiny peach blush. which is going to look very natural on my skin tone. Okay, and I'm hating the lipstick right now because it's so crooked. I'm going to put a lip balm on, is what my preference is. What am I going to put on? I'm going to put on the Estee Lauder Pure Color Gloss. I'm going to put a gloss on my lips because this is driving me crazy and it's distracting to me. I'm sure it's distracting to you as well. So let me just do the switch. There we go. Welcome to my chaos today. It's chaos. And just watch, this thing's gonna pool in the corners of my mouth the whole time, right? Okay, I wanted to share with you today how I've been doing my eyebrows because I'm not really showing my eyebrow process on camera these days, and I thought it was would be useful because I have been using my Pan That palette. I've been using an eyeshadow to do my eyebrows, and I thought it would be nice to share that with you. So I'm going to take that palette out and let's do brows. So this palette has been quite the journey. If you're watching this, get ready with me. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what's going to show up in my Pan That palette video coming up. I'm going to show you, I'm going to cover a couple up to keep some of the mystery, but I will show you the rest of the palette. And part of why I'm showing you the rest of the palette is that the products in those 3 pans right there on the very, very far end of the palette, the 2 up here and this one down here, are what I use to do my base part of the eyeshadow look. So the deep brown is what I use, which is blackberry. Black, is that what it's called? Yeah, blackberry. For some reason it's called blackberry. And then the 2 above are highlighter represses from Buxom. And that is really what I use as my base to create an eye look. And for that purpose, I use the brush that has been, the brush I've been using straight out of the palette, which is the Smashbox Matte Exposure. And I use it for my, my whole eyebrow look. So I'm going to go in, usually I do this last, but I'm going to go and do this first, is the highlighter. Because usually I'm not using, or I'm not doing my brows on camera. So I'm just going to do the highlight portion. And again, I usually do that last, but it's going to work out fine, I'm sure. And I use this tool to help me get my brows in place. So I just brush through my brows to try to get my usual shape, brow shape. And then I go in with this side of the brush into the deep brown that I showed you on camera just a minute ago, and start shaping my brows. And I often, obviously, I'm not talking when I do that. I do it usually off camera. To me, brows are, it's a very utilitarian type of process, so I don't find that I want to bother anyone with how I do my brows. I just feel like it's kind of boring. So I don't tend to focus on doing that at all on camera. So I'm just going to do one brow and do the other one off camera because I think it would just drive you a bit crazy. Because well, at least I find it boring. And all the steps I'm doing on the one side, obviously, I'm doing the same on the other. Something that you might not know, I very rarely mention it on camera, is that I do, believe it or not, I do cut my brows here. I have very long brow hairs, and I would look like Groucho Marx if they were allowed to stand upright. And so for the inner brow, I tend to cut them with a little pair of sewing scissors so that I don't end up with these long brow hairs sticking up. Some people might consider that blasphemous to do that to my brows, but I just think I have strong enough brows already. I don't need to accentuate them with being wider at the front. So I'm just looking at a different mirror, and I feel like I should just do a little cleanup. So that is how I do my brows. I do my brows, yes, with eyeshadow, and it works fine. The only other step, and I'll do it right away and then just do the other brow off camera. The other step I use is I do a brow setter. I use a brow setter to stop my brows from moving throughout the day. And right now I'm using a mini of the ABH brow gel. And it is a product that I like getting as part of a kit, but I will pretty much use any brow gel that I can get my hands on. So I've used the Tarte, I've used ABH obviously, and there's a third one that I've used. It's just, Annabelle. It's just brow gel. It's just brow gel. They all work fine, and there's no issue. So you've seen this one brow. Let me get the other one done, and we'll keep going. Okay, there we go. We've got two brows. I'm pretty okay with it, especially since I did one brow on camera and then one off camera. They seem to be close enough cousins, if not twins, so I'm okay with it. I'm going to put the brush back in, and for a complete view of that palette that I'm still working on, you can look forward to an update video, because there's a lot to talk about on this that palette. Okay, I have a lot going on now, more than I had before. I would like to get to the eyes, and the first thing that I want to do two things right away. One of them is put on a waterline pencil from Urban Decay to give me a little bit more definition on the eye, and then use some eye primer to get into the eye look for today. And here is my waterline pencil. It is in Legend, and it's the 24/7 waterline pencil from Urban Decay. I'm just going to be using the mirror right underneath the camera. If you're squeamish, look away. Okay, that makes a big difference. I find that using a black waterline marker or pencil, not marker, just brings out the eyes, even if you haven't done mascara yet. I tend to have this on when I do videos to do an eye look, because it just gives so much definition to the eye. I think it's an absolutely lovely thing to do for the eye right away. Next, we are going to do eye primer, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. eye primer product and get the two eyes ready. Just used this little bit and dabbing it on both fingers. Hopefully I don't have too much on, because I don't use this one very often. Shame on me. It does get tacky. Try not to get all of my highlighter that I put on to disappear. That would be lousy. I'm just tapping it over top. Okay, usually I only use eye primer on the movable lid, and I just decided why not just try to use eye primer the whole way through, because I'm going to use a base eyeshadow to start off the look. Now, there was a poll on my community tab asking which palette you would like to see. This palette got 50% of the votes, which was the most votes for any one palette. I had 5 of them listed. Well, the one that won out, which is the Natasha Denona Love Palette. So that's the one that I'm going to be using, and that's why I've got like a light colored necklace. Put this little beauty of a lip balm, or lip gloss, not lip balm, on. Oh, and one thing I should mention. Before starting filming, I did put on this EOS lip balm, which is fantastic. I seek these out regularly when I am going out and about. And I do believe this was from Jay. I'm pretty sure it was from Jay. And thank you so much, because it's a lovely product and I'm super, super happy to have them. Okay, now, Love Palette. Here is what it looks like. And I have swatched it, but I've never applied it to my peepers. I know, I should be ashamed. But it's today. Today is the day. And I am going to use, this is going to be blasphemous, I'm going to try to use this e.l.f. brush, and it's called the Detail Crease Brush. I don't see anything detailed about it. It's a pretty basic crease brush, but I will try using it. I can't use it immediately because it's too small, so I'm going to go to a tried and true brush. I was already looking at it. My brush jar is right in front of me to the left. You're right. And I'm going to go in with, oh boy, I think I'm going to go in with Soul. This one in the corner here to start off the look. And I'm going to do one eye and do the other eye off camera to save you some time. And let's give it a go. I'm going to go right in the crease with this brush. It's a bit different when you're using eye primer for sure. Like I said, I usually use it only on the movable lid, so this is going to put in or put on more product than I'm used to because of the tackiness of the eye, the skin on the eye now. So far, it's quite pretty. I'm just picking up the kick up and going a little higher up. I can't believe I did the swatches some time ago, and I can't believe that I did not use the palette. And I think it's just maybe more because of my mood. I haven't felt like, oh yeah, see, the eye primer is doing funny things with the eyeshadow. I'm just going to see if I have a bit more control with this one. Because that's not looking pretty right now at all. So let me see if I can intensify the color. Yeah, that is not cute at all. So I'm not going to use the e.l.f. eye primer again. Let's see if I can just rub it off a little bit. Yeah, it's not pretty at all. You know what? I'm going to take that off and start over. Okay, lesson learned. I'm going back in with the same brush, and the tackiness is pretty much all gone. Now I have some red here, but it's in part irritation from having played with the eyeshadow on my eye. So let's try this again. No eyeshadow primer on the upper lid. None. And again, I'm using the color Soul from the Natasha Denona Love Palette. That was a mess. We had a mess with the lips, we had a mess with my first eyeshadow out of that palette. So you know what? Maybe my spidey senses were tingling. I was not ready for the Love Palette. I needed to have a day where everything else is shittier than my eyeshadow game. There you go, you know? Okay, so that is still, it's kind of patchy. It's not looking great. I would normally carry a color out to the outer lower lid, but I'm not sure I want to add more of this color anywhere, to be quite frank. I think I might do a deeper color on the lower lash line. I think I might use Heartbeat, this one right here, as opposed to the one I'm using, which is this one right here. So this is a bit deeper. Might look better on the lower lash line. So I'm going to use my angle brush. First off, I'm going to bring, I am going to bring a little bit of that color down, but then move on to the other deeper color, just to try to just tie them together. Not sure that I'm going to like it, but we're going to try. We're going to try. Okay. Now I'm taking my mini smudger brush from Smashbox, and I'm going to go into that Heartbeat color that I mentioned earlier and put it along the lower lash line. I'm doing a really lousy job with doing a get ready with me. I'm not talking about personal stuff, and I think that in part I'm not, because I have the Assumptions video that I'm going to be filming after I film this one. It's closing today. March 20th is the last day to offer up Assumptions. So if you haven't done it yet, you might want to take a look at the community tab and send in your assumptions. It's kind of 11th hour at this point, but I did say that it would be open until the end of the day, March 20th. Okay, this is starting to look like something. I'm happier now. I'm going to go back, I'm going to be a trooper. I'm going to go back in with this brush, back into Soul, and build it up again, because I feel like I'm out of purgatory. This palette is out of purgatory with me, and it's starting to look like something. Okay. This is all right. I can live with this. And what are we going to do for the rest of the eye look? I definitely want something going on this side. See if I can even out the color. Okay, I tend to do that because I have a lot of lid space on that side. Not just lid, but eye lid overall shape. I've got some room. I think I want to add some depth. I'm going to put Commitment on the outer lower, the lower part of the outer lid. Oh. And I'm going to use that smudger. No, I'm not. I'm actually going to use Commitment as my outer lid color. And for that purpose, I'm using my full coverage brush from Smashbox. And I'm just going to say, here goes nothing. And we'll see if this kind of creamy shadow plays well with Soul. So far, so good. This is looking good. So Commitment is looking nice. And okay, now we're getting into some get ready with me, because I can talk about a couple things. Part of me not using this Love palette for a long time is because I was not feeling very loving. With the end of a relationship of well over 20 years, as in having been with someone for well into the early 20 number. I just didn't feel like using a love palette. Does that make sense? And even though I have another relationship that is more than budding, it's been over 6 months, I just didn't feel ready to use this. Does that make sense? And now I'm feeling ready because it's been more time in my current relationship, and I'm feeling just more like myself again, I guess. And I'm happy to get back into just enjoying things and enjoying things with you. Okay, that was, oh boy, Fallout City. Okay, let's see if this is going to brush off, because I don't like to put a bunch of powder on my face if I don't need to. Okay, so it looks like it's playing nice. Okay, so we've got the deep color. We have still the inner lid to do. And based on having used Commitment, I think I'm going to stay in the berry or dusty rose side of the palette. And I think I want to go light because I went quite deep on the outer lid, and I think I'm going to use, based on that, I'm going to use Giving, this one right here. Maybe it's an obvious choice, but it feels like that would be the right one, unless, because that is kind of purple, I could use Pure Love. You know what? I'm going to go with Pure Love. I think that's going to be more fun. Yeah, so I'm having more fun now. I feel like I can let my guard down a little bit and enjoy things in a way that I used to be able to. And I think that we feel like that when we don't feel secure. We don't feel secure in our relationships. And it's really hard to just enjoy the moment when you're feeling stressed. And that's been the reality until very recently. And YouTube, I have to say, has been a nice escape, where I could just avoid a lot of the things I'm dealing with when I'm not on camera. YouTube has been really nice as a way to connect with you, and as a way to just let the day-to-day stuff, put it aside for a while and play or talk and share things with you that are mostly makeup related. Yes. I'm not one to dish a whole lot on life, to be frank. All right, I think this one looks pretty decent. How about finishing up that look, and then I'll go off camera and do the same thing on the other side. I'm pretty happy with what I've got here. Okay, so yeah, let me finish this side and then move on. Okay, I'm a little sheepish because the last time I used this liner on camera, it did not go well, which is hilarious because I usually never have a problem with the ABH liner, but I had to start over because my blinking was messing up my liner. So let's see how it goes today. Fingers crossed. Having a nice big mirror in front of me is helping, I'm sure. I'm not doing a wing. Or should I? Maybe I should. I have not done a wing like that in a long time. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to mess with it anymore. So that is the wing. I think it looks pretty darn good. Let's make sure that I can replicate it and make it look similar on the other side. And I'm going to use this Bite. So it was in the ABH liquid liner, and now I'm using the Bite Beauty mascara, and it's called the Upswing mascara, and I do really quite love the brush. I'm going to go and use the palette again to do the eyelashes. It does really give me a fake eyelashes feel. Every time I've used this mascara, although it's a mini, right? So I've been using it a lot. It's drying out on me now. So it's probably not going to be quite as lavish as it was the last few times I've used it. I really do enjoy it. Did I just smudge? Yeah, it looks like I've got some mascara on my upper lid, but if I'm patient, and I let it dry, I can just flake it off and just maybe fix up my eyeshadow a little bit afterwards. Okay, so that is essentially, apart from the little snafu that I have to fix, that is pretty much what my eye look is like for today, and I'm really, really loving it. So let me put on the same look on the other eye, and then we can wrap it up. Okay, the second eye is done. I hope that you are liking the look. I do want to go back into an e.l.f. product, which is a highlighter duo, and I have this kind of purpley side to the highlighter. I don't know if they're very, very light. It's really hard to see. This one has a bit of a purpley tone, and I thought it would look really nice on the brow bone, so I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to end up using that e.l.f. Brush that this small crease brush that I did not use as I said I would, and use it for the highlighter instead. So it's going to be a highlighter over a highlighter, but I think that the purple is going to look better than what I had on before, which was more of a golden highlighter. I think that's going to tie it nicely because I have purple in my inner lid, on my inner lid. Apparently I can't talk. So let's just review really quickly what it is that I used. And I ended up using Soul, Heartbeat. That one was on the lower, or is on the lower lash line. This one was my crease outer lid and outer lower lid color. I ended up also using Commitment on the very outer lid, outer crease, and I think that it's a beautiful deep purple color, and it played very nicely with the other colors. And do I have anything missing? Yeah, Heartbeat on the lower lash line. Oh yeah, and of course, Pure Love is what is on my inner to 2/3 of the lid as kind of a pop of purple and pink shimmer, which I really, really like. So this is, except for this little extra mascara on my lower lashes, I am really enjoying this. The mascara from Bite Beauty looks great. The liner from ABH looks great, although my wings are more cousins than twins. That's okay. I needed this. I needed to play around with some colors, and I think that I'm enjoying this look enough that I am going to do the first part of the Assumptions video with this look. I'm just enjoying it a whole lot. I didn't share a great deal of personal information in this Get Ready With Me. I thought I might, and this was just not the day for it. So it's more of a makeup video, but when I did share, it was fun to share and felt comfortable sharing. So hopefully you're not upset over that. And I'm going to finish with an e.l.f. setting spray. And this is it. It's called the Makeup Mist and Set. And just a couple of sprays. And that was more than a couple sprays. I think I sprayed 5 times. I went a little overboard. But I do really like this setting spray. I think it does a really good job. And it's a fraction of the price of other setting sprays in my experience, what the prices are. Like I said, I'm happy with this look. It feels really good. Let me know what you think, as usual. And with that, I'll say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And in this case, I know for sure it is tomorrow's video, because I have to discuss your assumptions, and that will be fun. But for now, take care.